Hi, everyone. Well, if you've ever wondered, how do these organizations called cults work? How do they get people to believe what's insane, to abandon their families, to literally believe what's insane and hence act in insane behaviors? How do they get people to stay amidst abusive behavior? Well, someone just tried to recruit me for a cult. And in that process, and luckily it was done online, so I'm going to read to you exactly what they wrote and point out exactly how cults operate. Because on the surface, it looks like this person was just dialoguing with me. We were dialoguing about a spiritual teacher named Mooji and some accusations that had been brought up against Mooji. However, don't be fooled. And as I read this, it'll become very clear. This person was literally trying to recruit me. Here we go. I'm just going to start reading. You cannot judge whether anyone is worthy of anything. That sounds so arrogant, bro. So, a little context. What I was saying is Muji's not worthy of people surrendering to him. And that's part of the phenomenon is people are literally surrendering their wills and lives to this person and trusting their entire life to Mooji. And I said he's not worthy. And so how does this person respond? He doesn't respond by saying Mooji is or isn't worthy. What he says is, you cannot judge whether anyone is worthy of anything. That sounds so arrogant, bro. That's how cults operate. They attempt to switch off your capacity for discernment. They attempt to switch off that gut feeling of what feels right and what doesn't feel right. So not only, this person didn't say you're wrong about what I said. He said, you are wrong. You cannot judge whether whether anyone is worthy of anything. He's going after me at my core. And that's what a cult does. It has to break you down. It has to get you to give up your sense of right and wrong, that you know anything about anything. First, they have to break you down before they can instill their untruths in you. And the way they break you down is they get you to completely doubt yourself. The next line, perhaps you yourself don't feel worthy of his love. So here, this person, I'm not sure if he even realized, he just basically points out that the entire movement is about receiving Mooji's love. That's what this is. This is an entire movement based around loving Mooji and receiving Mooji's love back. And once again, he tries to break me down. Maybe I have these objections. One of the reasons, so, I'm pointing out these criticisms like, hey, Mooji's not behaving right. He's taking advantage of hurting people. And how does the person respond? Perhaps you yourself don't feel worthy of his love. So, someone's hurting someone, and someone responds, "Oh, well," and I point that out, and someone responds by saying, "Well, perhaps you don't, maybe you're doing this and saying these things because you don't feel worthy of his love." Once again, trying to get me to completely question myself and completely give up my entire sense of reality. Because let's face it, we all want love, and we all and many people on the spiritual and healing path are on that path because they have a lot of wounds around love, and I'm one of them. I had very painful childhood. I've had all sorts of painful things happen in my life. Like, yeah, I want love. So this person, not so subtly, is trying to convince me that the reason why I have these objections to Mooji's behavior is because I don't feel worthy of Mooji's love. How twisted is that? I'll continue. And his friends, lovers, and followers are not at all surrendered to him in a way that makes them lose their individuality and intelligence. On the contrary, He helps us to reclaim and expand our consciousness. Yeah, that's not so bad. I mean, but isn't that enticing? Like, oh, Mooji will help you expand your consciousness. Yeah, not so insidious. But here we go. I have a strong feeling that you do not understand much of his teaching yet. Actually, I do. Mooji's teaching is really simple. He teaches a very simplified version of what's called Advaita Vedanta, an Indian philosophical tradition, and he really, Advaita Vedanta is like this, and then what Mooji teaches is like this much of it. And so his teaching is very simple. But once again, here's another attempt to get me to doubt myself and like, oh, you have these objections about Mooji because you don't understand his teachings. So, and that's one of the key ways that a cult operates is any criticism is turned back onto the person making it. Which is a little crazy making. Not for me. I mean, I know what's going on here, but that's part of how they hook people in. From where do you have these fixed and narrow ideas how a guru should live by what he teaches? So how odd, that I have the expectation that a spiritual teaching actually lives his teaching. And once again, here's another attempt to get me to doubt myself and feel disempowered. So my desire that a spiritual teacher live by their own spiritual teachings is now being labeled a fixed and narrow idea. It completely destroys a person's sense of reality. So if they buy in, um, so let's say I didn't know what was going on, I'd be like, oh, well, maybe my ideas are fixed and narrow. And it gets even better, but okay, hold on. Here we go. It's impossible for a non awakened being to understand the ways of an enlightened master. And that is how cults, that's it right there, that one sentence. So look at what's contained in that sentence. And so the thing is, the reason why I'm breaking this down is because cults operate through misuse of language. End of story. And sort of manipulative emotional behavior, but primarily through crazy making through language. That's why I'm breaking this down, because it all happens so fast, and within one sentence, there'll be 3 or 4 or 5 distorted ideas that are literally trying to hook you in to an untrue reality. Okay, it's impossible for a non awakened being to understand the ways of an enlightened master. Okay, so if I didn't have my guard up, well, basically what this person is saying, Mooji is an enlightened master. Master's not master means perfect. So this person is trying to get me to accept the reality that Mooji is perfect. Therefore, I can surrender to Mooji. Therefore, I can trust that everything Mooji says and does is perfect. He's a master. Who am I as an unenlightened, as a non-awakened being to judge Mooji? That's all that's going on here. This person is trying to create a reality. The reality is this: Mooji is perfect. You are not. You cannot judge. You cannot even understand. Once you buy into that, then a teacher can beat the crap out of you. And they can say, oh, it was for your own good. And that's exactly what happens, actually. Uh, in cults in general, in terms of Mooji, there's allegations of verbal abuse, of yelling, of all sorts of twisted dynamics. Now, see, the thing with Mooji is there's the public Mooji and there's the private Mooji. Mooji's formed an intentional community. Most of these allegations have to do with what goes on in the intentional community. And so most of you, who've maybe seen some of Mooji's videos might be looking at me like, what are you talking about? But what I'm talking about is what goes on behind closed doors. What I'm talking about is how this person someone I've never even met, just some guy online I was dialoguing with, is literally trying to break down my sense of reality. To what end? To get me to surrender to Mooji. Mhm. But it's very easy to judge and deny their actions. Again, I say, be open and receptive if you wish to learn anything new. Be open and receptive if you wish to learn anything new. Once again, the implication that I'm not open, that I'm not receptive, and most importantly, that this person and or Mooji has something new to teach me. And if I'm only more open and receptive, then I could receive it. You really think that now millions of people, young and old, intelligent, smart, are being deceived and again brainwashed? The brainwashed, no, not millions. Millions deceived? Absolutely. Now, here's once again, this next line is where this guy really takes it up a notch. Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this guy's full of shit. Don't believe a word he says, because this next couple sentences, I don't want to hook anyone into the Mooji cult. That's what this guy's trying to do. So just listen with discerning ears. You can't keep living in denial of the sheer crystal clear expression of pure truth, love, and consciousness by Mooji Baba for long. Whoa. So all that's going on here is this person is trying to remove my reality and install his. And what's his reality? Mooji's perfect. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. This guy is trying to remove my sense of reality. Not just he's trying to remove reality and install another reality in here. So you can't keep living. You can't keep living in denial of the sheer crystal clear expression of pure truth, love, and consciousness by Mooji Baba for long. So first of all, this person is implying that I am living in denial or resistance, that I'm somehow resisting the crystal clear, pure expression of truth, love, and consciousness. When actually I'm not. I have my own spiritual path. I'm very clear on that. I'm very clear Mooji is not a guru and not my teacher, and that he's basically a con artist. I'm very clear on that. Yet this person is trying to convince me that some part of me actually already recognizes Mooji as a perfect master and is just resisting that. Oh, excuse me, living in denial. Here we go. Next sentence. You can't resist the calling much longer. And let's see. That I'm in denial and that I can't keep that denial up for long. That's exactly how date rape occurs. A guy will be to a woman, "Oh, well you were behaving like you were interested in me." She'll be like, "Oh, sorry you felt that way and I'm not." And he'll be like, "Oh, well you've been acting that way all night. Really seems like you're interested in me." And she'd be like, "No, I don't think I'm interested in you." A couple minutes later, "Yeah, I've just been having this feeling like you've just really wanted me all night." And at this point, the woman is probably going to start doubting might start questioning herself. Do I want it? Then it can just get down to, you want it. You want it, but you're just denying it. You're just in repression of it until the person breaks down and surrenders. That's all that's going on here. Except I know what's going on here, and I'm not gonna I'm not going to give in to this person's twisted distortion of reality. Oh, and I can't keep the denial up for long. So basically, this person is trying to put the idea in my head that I'm in denial and that I can't keep it up for long, i.e., I will surrender to Mooji eventually. It's inevitable. That's what this person is trying to communicate, that my surrender to Mooji is inevitable. I'll continue. But you can't resist the calling much longer because the whispering voice in your heart has recognized the potential of true liberation. Oh, so I've recognized that Mooji is my path to true liberation. A part of me has recognized that, but I'm resisting it. But it's coming from the whisper of my heart. This guy is so good. I wonder how many people he's recruited. Basically, what this person is saying is, in the depths of your being, your heart has already recognized that Mooji will lead you to true liberation. And of course, as a spiritual seeker, true liberation is like, like that's what we all want, you know. That's what everyone wants, and someone who's on the spiritual path is aware that they want it. And then this guy is like, "Hey, you've already recognized that Mooji will take you there. You're resisting it now, but you can't resist it much longer. You will give in." Talk about reality twisting. I'd like you to know I'm far from gullible, blind, dependent, naive, desperate, deranged, or helpless and needy person. Well, I mean, other than the deranged part, I'll accept all that. I can only speak from real 62 years life experience. My recommendation to you is to study the phenomena Mooji a little deeper without trying to make him fit into your preconceived ideas of how a mystic or guru should behave. So once again, my concerns about Mooji's behavior are what does he say? Preconceived ideas. So, like, okay, I'm upset that Mooji's allegedly sleeping with a lot of his young students and using manipulation to have that happen and engaging in verbal abuse and exorcisms and selling pictures of his feet and selling dust that he may have walked on. And by the way, the pictures of the feet and the dust are no longer available for sale. But at one point on his website, you could purchase pictures of Mooji's feet. So yeah, so I'm concerned about some of these things, but those are just preconceived ideas. And here's how he closes. Life becomes so much richer and juicier when you let go of all beliefs, adopted ideas, and borrowed knowledge. So once again, my concerns about someone engaging in emotional and spiritual abuse are borrowed knowledge, adopted ideas, and I should let all those things go. Why? Because life will become much richer and juicier. So this entire letter, it looks like it was a dialogue, but actually what it is a person trying to seduce me. He probably is not even conscious that he's doing it. It's like someone installed the software in him. It's like a virus. It just passes itself along. He's probably not consciously being like, "Oh, I'm gonna say this so I can get that." It's just the Mooji cult virus was installed in him, and he's just doing what viruses do. They try and spread. But you can see here, this entire letter is laced with attempts to have me doubt myself, give up my sense of reality, and surrender to Mooji, all the while making appeals to like the deepest part of myself, my heart, my desire for liberation, my desire for a juicy, rich life, my desire for love. And this person very clearly indicates what the Mooji cult is all about: devotion to Mooji and receiving his love. So thanks so much, everyone, for checking this out, and I hope this helps you understand how cults operate.